All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Insurance Tech Webinars by Accelerated Automation. I'm so excited to have Jarell here with us from Gravity Certs. He is going to be talking to us about all things insurance websites and so many other topics. I know I have found, as we've worked with more and more agents over the last several years, that a lot of the websites are really outdated. And in today's world, your digital footprint is just as important as any other footprint or any other first impression that you put forward for your business. So Jarell has helped a lot of our clients who've been really enjoying the product. And I know you're going to be able to share like tons of really great information with us. So thank you so much for being here, even in the midst of your move. Without further ado, I'll kind of let you take it from here and jump right in.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come on today. It's nice to see everybody. My name is Jarell. I'm the founder here at Gravity Certs. And just like a quick little backstory, my wife and I we actually came from the insurance world. We've owned several agencies ourselves, so we understand the insurance lingo and a lot of the challenges that all of you face. Just like you have to face. So came from the independent world, wrote about 50-50 personal lines and commercial lines. And most of our book was over in Hawaii. So used to dealing with a lot of surplus lines. No raters over here, actually. So everything was quoted manually. So it was a old school process over here. So we had to really create a lot of processes to help streamline getting the information from people and being able to quote effectively, present, and then bind business, and then just manage all of the clients, since everything was so old school here. So what I'll be showing you today is quite a few different options that we built into the website. So what we do is really take your website and then supercharge it and turn it into a tool so that you can get information from your clients. You can then present your quotes to the clients and then also help manage those clients for years to come. So really the whole spectrum of client management. Plus there's another tool that we have for helping to manage your team too, for managing your employees, your carriers, keeping track of all your trainings and resources, everything related to your agency internally. So multiple tools all designed in one system. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here with you.
It's crazy because I love watching the websites turn into kind of almost an after or come from an afterthought, something that, everybody's like, oh yeah, we have to have a website, so we have one. And then turn it into like a really powerful tool that your team uses every day, your clients use every day. It can assist you in marketing. Like it really becomes another tool in your toolbox versus like, oh, it's just something that's out there because we have to have one.
Exactly. Yeah, so many websites are just basically like a brochure and
Hmm.
they don't really do much. They're just kind of sitting out there. And if somebody happens to land on your website, they could maybe look at some pictures and maybe read a little bit of content. That's about it. But what we want to do is really turn it into a tool for you. So at the end of the day, your agency can make money. I mean, that's the bottom line of having a tool. To make it make money for you. If it's not helping you grow your business, there's no point in having the tool. That's my
Hmm.
philosophy on
So
everything.
true.
So with the website, comes with about 1,000 pages or so. So it's a really robust website. So from being from the insurance world, we're able to write a lot of content for personal lines, for commercial lines, talking about all different types of coverages, different lines of business, even several hundred FAQs, which is really nice for search engines when people are searching for different questions. You have answers for that. And then also for commercial lines, lots of pages for different types of businesses with the types of insurance that they need. So there's several hundred different business landing pages that are on the site too, with the
Yeah,
different
and you guys
insurance.
don't have to create that content like with these built sites because if you're trying to put something together through, GoDaddy or something similar like that, or you are trying to use WordPress and build your own site, all of that content you have to create and then format and put all that together. It's so time consuming. So the fact that this comes with like 1,000 different things that can come up as, blogs on insurance and in search engines, or you can use these pages in part of your advertising and marketing, it's a lot.
Exactly. So obviously, the sites are designed very nicely. They're modern, clean. Of course, they're mobile friendly. That's a standard anymore. They have to be. So
Hmm.
everything is packaged and ready to go. But one of the big things is being able to get information from your clients. And the nice thing is getting more than just a general contact form. So we have some of those as well for general contacts, for lead gen. If you want to do social media marketing or Google ads, we can do short lead gen forms too. But a lot of these ones here right up at the top, so they can start quoting, will go to a full quote intake form with all the conditional logic built in that you need. So we see a lot of agencies, if they do have forms, they're they are fragmented. So a client would have to go and start a home quote, and then they're done with that. Then they have to do an auto quote, and then they have to go do another quote, and then the client is duplicating data, and that's just not very efficient for them. So what we do is like to do have everything in here in just one form, so they don't have to enter their name and email multiple times. So that makes it very streamlined for them too. So they can just pick what they're looking for in here and then start walking through the intake form. Give you the information for their drivers, their property info, vehicle info, general household info here. And then depending on what they pick, they'll have these specific questions related to that. So like umbrella, there's some extra questions. Valuable items that'll talk about, if they can ask all their different items that they might have. Extra questions for RVs, motorcycles, things like that. But really easy. It takes maybe 5 minutes or so for a person to submit this form. And then it can go into multiple different systems. That's where a lot of our power comes in, is that we are the only one I know of, the only website company that actually has custom built integrations. So we can work with multiple AMS systems, multiple CRM systems, email marketing systems. There's even Canopy Connect. We have an integration with them. Some raters as well, like Turbo Rater, Cover Whale for commercial trucking, Bold Penguin for commercial lines. So really a way to take this information, then actually do something with it to get it into your systems that you're already working with. That's the main thing. That
That's
way you're
so
not having to do
important.
any duplicate, any data entry
Yeah.
really, or very
So many
little.
agents just get a notification, like they just get an email, like all the information's in an email, and then you have to go retype all that information or put it somewhere. The fact that it can come straight from the site into the area that you need
Mhm.
it so that it's usable data, so much more efficient. And it's really, in 2025, it's really the way that all of your data should come in. It should come into the right place where you're going to use it, not anywhere that you
Mhm.
have to retype it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then another thing that we added in here recently is property data lookup. This one's huge. This we have about 160 million properties, in the US that we have access to and that we can look up really, really quickly when somebody does their quote. So say they're starting the home quote, they can, they're obviously going to put their address in. I put a couple up here just so I could reference them because they were kind of good with information. So say I'll pull up this one here, and within about a second or so, it'll go and pull up the information on the county records and then even show a little map marker of where they are. So here we can get about 100 or so data points all on this property just by looking it up with the county records. All sorts of, seller info, market and assessed value, property types, and then property information, year built, construction, beds, baths, AC, heating, roof information, lot information, property use. Sometimes the county puts the flood zone in. That's nice to have too. Legal description. There's other MLS info that we can get if it's on the MLS, other owner and seller information. So quite a bit that can be available in here. And then as you can see, it does populate questions in the form. So we can hide these or we can just have these available and it can pre-fill the form for the client, make it even quicker and easier for them. But the nice thing is, the information is going to be accurate because we're pulling it from the county. So another nice way to get lots and lots of information. And then you don't actually have to even ask this of the client if you don't want to, because a lot of
Well, then you're
times,
just kind of confirming. You're confirming
exactly.
the
Yeah.
information, 4 beds, 4 baths, and then
Hmm.
that makes it so much easier on them.
Yeah, exactly. So easy way to get all the property information. So once we've done getting the information from the client. We've integrated it into your current system, so you're able to start quoting. You've got the quotes back from the client or from the carrier, I mean, and now it's time to present. So kind of the old school approach is sending them an email. You might write a big long email attach the actual quotes from the carrier. And what does the client do? They don't know what they're looking at. So they just find the bottom line, the cheapest price, and say, I want that one. So a more efficient way to do that is to use our quote proposals built into the website. So again, because it's on the website, it's not a third-party system. It's just organically helping your SEO. So you're sending traffic to your website. That's the whole point of having the website, is to drive traffic to it. So we can do that just by using the quote proposals here and sending your clients to their own quote proposal page on the website. So I have a sample one here. This one's for personal lines. But again, it works for personal and commercial lines. Same with all the forms. We have personal lines and commercial lines, even Medicare and life, and a lot of other niche markets too.
Yeah,
So
and
we
that's very
really want
unique. There's not
everything
a lot.
for everything.
There's not even a lot of like website vendors that have a lot of different form capabilities, but there's not even a lot of form companies that all they do is forms that have all of these different industries as well. Some of them are very segmented between personal and commercial, or they don't want to touch Medicare or health. So this is so unique to Gravity Search. I'm not aware of any other vendors that are doing this right now that are across all these different lines of business.
Mhm. We've even had to do some really niche market forums too. There's several contractors forums, which is really nice for everyone that works, specifically with a lot of contractors,
I
even really
probably
other
know the agent that
niche
had you
ones.
develop those. I can
Yeah.
probably guess her name. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's so many other ones as well. She's actually here too. So
Yeah.
hi, Donna.
Hi. So if I go here, I'll open this in a new tab here. With the quote proposals, when you send it out to the client, it will timestamp when they view the proposal, which is nice. So you can keep track of when and how many times they viewed it. And it can send an email to the agent too. So you know that they've seen the proposal right in real time, and then you can follow up with them however you like. So looking here, because it's on your website, again, it'll have your logo, your colors, your branding, everything for you, because it's based on your website design. So we have the client's information up here and their lines of business, the agent's information over here and their headshot if you like. Down here you can embed a video. This one's through Loom, and it's totally optional to do that. We do highly recommend you adding a video though, because it just really helps sell the policy, helps establish yourself
Video quoting is huge,
as
you
the
guys.
expert. Yeah.
Massive increase in close ratios when you're able to clearly identify and talk through the differences for them. Just narrate that piece. They can hear you. They can, even see you if you turn the camera on. We used video quoting in my agency. It was really, really new when we used it years ago, and people love it. And it has a great open rate. They watch the video. Donna's in the chat right now saying people love it. She gets compliments on it all the time, more than anything. It really does make you stand out. It is still very unique in the space.
Hmm. And the technical barrier for adding a video is super, super low, especially if you're using Loom. You can use the little Chrome extension, record it. Once you're done, hit stop, and then all you do is copy and paste the URL into the proposal, and it'll automatically embed the video for you.
Yeah. So if you can
Really
copy
easy
and
to
paste,
create.
then you can do this. It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah. So then further down, now we can actually see a side-by-side comparison of the quotes here. So I have an example home quote here with just two quotes. You can do, 3, 4, 5 across here if you want. Um, 2 or 3 is probably the most common, so we don't start confusing people, right? But you can put as much or as little information in here as you like. You can also add files too in here, attach multiple files. Say if you want to attach the actual quote or maybe a carrier brochure about that carrier, you can definitely do that. So nice way they can actually see line items, side by side coverages. One of the things we did with our agency is if we got their current deck pages, we would make a third column here and put what they currently have. Then they can actually see, okay, this is what I have, and then these are your quotes, and then the agent recommended one that we want them to go with. And then they can really start seeing their holes and their gaps in coverage and where they really need to go with those new policies that you're quoting them.
Yeah, this is huge. We recently just actually shopped and switched our own insurance. And I'm an agent, and I still had to print out all these quotes and deck pages and everything and figure out, go through each line item, like where the coverage is different, where am I losing coverage? Because of course, I'm very detailed. Our clients don't usually do that, but especially if you are in a market where maybe pricing is difficult, you're not crazy competitive, you're not going to be able to save them, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but maybe the coverage is a lot better. Or you could save them hundreds of dollars, but you know the coverage is really bad, right? You can give them these options. You can say, this is what you have today, and these are your options between good, better, and best. We recommend best, for example. And that is a great selling tactic because if they like working with your agency, they've had a great customer experience, they have several entry points to price. So that price becomes, that's not the conversation anymore. It's which coverage package do you want most? And this comparison is so simple. And then you can use this, you can record this in your video, outlining the comparison, then pop that video in there. It's amazing how well this works.
Exactly. Yeah. So then they can see, all of their quotes right down here. So everything that you want to add, you can have them listed in here. And then down at the bottom is where they can put any comments or questions and hit I accept. And then the agent gets notified, they're ready to move forward. And then you just, do your normal binding up the policy. So this would be your presentation tool to really help set yourself apart. You're going to be head and shoulders above the other competition that's just sending them an email. This is a way to really establish yourself as that insurance expert and that advisor.
And you can
So,
see guys at the top of this, you can also email this to the client from here, or you could print it. So if you are going to walk out and do, like for example, in commercial, a lot of times you're meeting with them in person, depending on this, like how large it is. You can still take this with you. It doesn't have to be digital.
mhm. And this works really well, especially for commercial lines. And when you're working with larger businesses that have, multiple business partners or a board of directors, you can send it to everybody that you need to, all the business owners, all the board of directors. And then they can all watch the proposals individually at their own time, or if they get together, they can do that. And then it'll timestamp whenever anybody views that proposal. So you can see, okay, 7 out of 10 of the owners have viewed the proposal, so the other three need to get on board. So
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to track that.
If you are using Loom as well, you can even, the settings in Loom, you can even say that you want them to put their email address in before they view it. So you can actually see who viewed it and how much of it they watched. So you
Hmm.
think those really big clients that are a much longer sales process, you really have a lot of data and information as to where they're at in the process.
Hmm. Exactly. So now that we've quoted, we've presented, and now they're a client, we've bound them up, now they're a client. You can also use the website as a service tool. So up under the for clients area, we have multiple different options. So we have a custom built client center for anybody who's using Now Certs. We're really probably your best website tool for anybody using Now Certs. This is
For those watching, it's
the
also now
custom
called
built client
Momentum.
center.
Momentum and Now Sits, it's
Yeah,
the same
momentum.
thing,
Yeah.
just depending on when you're coming across this.
Yeah. So this client center is a system for your clients to actually create an account on your website, log in, visit this client center page, and they can actually see all of their policies in real time through about a dozen different API calls. See their policies, their effective dates, and depending on the policies, you can see coverages. They can download files even. So if I go over here, they can toggle between accounts if they have multiple accounts here. Down here, they would see their policies listed in Now Certs. And then here they can go and view the details of that policy. This is a commercial auto, for example, so it pulled their vehicles listed on there, their auto coverages, and the drivers on the policy. So, and then over here, they can see any sort of documents that you've shared with them. So this will grab any folders or files that you've shared with them. So they can download those, and then they can also upload files too. And this is all uploaded or downloaded directly from Now Certs through your website. So really powerful tool. We had quite a few clients of ours when we were using Now Certs. Sometimes they would just log in and see you know, what's their limit on their water backup, and they would just come in here and find that themselves, and then they would decide if they needed to go ahead and actually submit a claim or not, because they got a quote from a water remediation company because their water heater leaked and caused a bunch of damage. One client, she just paid for it herself because it wasn't much more than her deductible. So sometimes clients have that ability to be able to come in here and kind of find out information about their policy coverages right here.
This self-service is awesome, you guys, because if you look at this, on that example, he had different carriers in there. And if you think about the alternative, if you don't have something in place like this, they have to go to each individual carrier, and they're not going to know, the client's not going to know which carrier their auto or their home or maybe their umbrella or their, life policy is with. But if you have it, if it's in the AMS, and it's has that information there, it can pull it from now starts slash momentum now, and they have one place to go. So ease of use is huge. And think
Mhm.
about, as our demographics change of our customer base, and as these different generations are coming up, they are expecting self-service options. And that is that ease of use that makes it hard to want to leave an agency when it's very easy to do business there.
Exactly. And then again, technical barrier super low. If the client can create a username and password, they can jump in and they can view that, download anything special. They don't have to download apps and
Oh,
carriers.
Jarell,
They just
we're
go to your website and that's it.
is he getting glitchy on everybody else's side, or is it just me? Maybe it's me. Can someone in chat let me know? Sorry, you cut out there for a moment, Jarell.
Oh, can
I think
everyone
you're
hear
back
me
now. I
okay
think I
again?
think you're good
Okay.
now.
Yeah. I guess one of the things about being on an island now is
Yeah.
sometimes the internet's glitchy.
Well, we're both
But
remote right now, so I don't know who it is
yeah.
modded my office.
So then also there's the service portal too for, so they can request policy changes, request certificates. There's a carrier library with hundreds of different carriers on there if they need to contact their carrier directly with their phone numbers and emails. Um, Different links to their different websites, and they can submit a claim to you through their website, and then general requests. Or we also like to put your Calendly or other calendar system on your website too, so that they can book account reviews or schedule appointments with you. So again, doing other little things to get people to your website. So especially if you're using Calendly, we like to add your calendar actually embedded into the website. That's a nice little thing, but again, you're going to be driving traffic to your site instead of to Calendly. So just to help you out.
Other things can also be, and like there's other booking tools too, you guys. So just in case you are using something else, there's other options also. And then think about these requests. If you're helping your client understand how to interact with your business the best. So if you're onboarding them well and retaining them, and you're telling them about these tools, when they submit these requests, then you can direct where they go. So a lot of our followers, of course, are using agency Zoom. If you're using the service center in that, this policy change request can come right into your pipeline that it's specifically for policy changes. That's one that we build for our agents at Accelerated Automation. Or if it's a request, certificate request, that goes to the right team member who's responsible for handling that, or a group of team members. So where this information lands also makes it even just that much more user friendly. But if you don't have a system in place like that it can be pushed into, you can receive an email, of course, notifying you that you need to move forward with helping this customer. But this self-service, when agents put these in place, you're going to get requests at all hours of the day, in the evenings, on the weekends, on the holidays, times when you would not be available to speak with your client, but they can let you know they need help whenever it's convenient for them. And then when you are working, you're able to then pick that up and help them. So again, just so helpful on the customer side. As insurance in general, we have to be easy to work with. There's a lot of options, there's a lot of choices, there's a lot of pricing, different differentiations out there. And one of the things you can control the most is how do your clients work with you?
Exactly. Well said. So another,
It's just a huge difference. Like since I
yeah.
just did this as a consumer and shop my insurance, some of these agencies were easy and some were so rigid, and it was very frustrating. But to see the difference, it made a difference in what we chose. We, of course, being in the industry, we didn't choose the cheapest insurance, but we had to look at several factors, and how easy and how quick agents responded. That was a big piece of it. I will say though, the agency that we chose, they still need a Gravity Search website. Theirs is not this good.
Nice. So then too, there's also account review forms. This one's huge for especially everybody using someone like Agency Zoom or a CRM, where you can trigger different things based on an X date. So here, set up a workflow. So 60, 90 days, 120 days, whatever you want. Kick off an automated email to the client, and then with a link to this page on your website. Then here they can come in and update their profile for you every year. And this is a comprehensive form that goes over all sorts of different information that might have changed throughout the year. So say, did they buy a trampoline? Did they buy a dog? Did they buy some jewelry? Did they redo their roof? Did they do a house remodel? Did they do all sorts of different things throughout the year that you might want to relook at their insurance and have that conversation, make updates. So a really nice way to every year get that updated profile on the clients. And again, too, for commercial lines, the same thing. Works really well because to get, updated sales figures, annual revenues, employee changes, property changes, and tools and things, nice way to get all that information so that you can update their quotes or their policies every year. So,
Yeah, and I love this. Think about it from a business owner perspective. If you're an insurance agent watching this, you own a business. How often are you conducting your own business? I don't know how else to say that within business hours. You're probably not. You're probably doing a lot of
mhm,
that. Your admin work on the weekends, on in the evenings, or maybe you have, an accountant or someone that's helping you. But if your clients are also business owners, they have a lot of the same problems. So having these self-service options, again, just ease of use. Yes, you can call and talk to us during business hours. Or if that's very difficult for you, here is another option. So many agents don't give their clients another option, and then it makes it very difficult, and you end up chasing them down for that phone call when something as simple as a form that they can find on your website could eliminate all of that extra work.
yeah, exactly. So there's also another feature that we have. I won't go into it in too much detail, but it's for all you agencies that work with a lot of big contractors. We have some tools in place to help out those contractors and to help manage their subs. And over here in
Mhm.
Hawaii, we worked with quite a few big contractors that had hundreds of subs. And so we had developed this tool to be able to help those main contractors get their certificates every year from all of their subs. And then by using the form on your website, you're also able to reach out to the subcontractors and get their policies in place and ensure that they have the proper limits that your main contractor has because they're already a client. So if you're working with a lot of big contractors, we have that way so you can basically get free leads, get all the subs and the main contractors, um, and that really just really helps streamline their whole process. So that was a custom built thing that we had to do to just to help manage with contractors.
That was always something that I thought was like a good best practice. And we did do that when we would get a request. We would get it always via email, and then we would email back, and we would put them in like our lead file, or like, oh, we're going to call that, contractor and follow up. But the database wasn't created automatically because it was all through email, and we weren't storing any of that information for the client. It was all very manual. So the fact that this is a portal that the business owner can use, they can store that information. You can also access that. It's just happening for you without you thinking about it or having to manually create this file. Again, just ease of use, right? Simple for your staff, simple for your customer, just ease of use. And I mean, who doesn't want free leads? That's just
Exactly.
that's a beauty. You sell like what, two extra contractors, you're probably paid for your website close to the year.
Yeah, yeah, probably. So then moving on, there's even more built into the website. There's a team directory, and we can pull your testimonials directly from Google if you like. The blog is built in, ready to go. Referring, friends and family forms, FAQs, even a job application form. That's nice to have. Another big thing that we like to have on the website too is a referral partner system. So this is where any agency working with a lot of referral partners, those partners can have their own landing page on your website. And then on their landing page, they can have, whatever you want to put on there. Maybe their headshot or their logo, maybe their bio, all their contact information, social media, things like that. But the big thing is being able to have a form on their page so that anytime these referral partners are sending you leads, their client can come here onto your page, they can fill out the form, and we know it came from, Jane Doe mortgage lender because it was this form on the website. So the referral source will automatically be from her, and then you can do any sort of, thank you cards or Starbucks gift cards or whatever you want to your referral partners. But it's a nice way to help market them and help, help them send you more clients through a page on your website. So
Yeah, so simple. Give them the URL, have them add that to their, their processes. Even
Mhm,
better, give it to the loan processors. The loan processors are the ones
mhm,
responsible for collecting insurance, and it's not part of the
mhm,
file. They're going to have to go out and get that. But this double branding is amazing.
mhm. Exactly. Yeah. And there's no limit to the number of partners you can have. I know some agencies have over 100 different partners. One agent has over 100 different partners just himself. So you can have as many as you can get. Really, just go and blanket your whole town, talk to everybody, get them on your website, have them all send you their clients. So that's the main part of the main website. Our last tool that we have is the intranet portal. It's an internal tool for your agency. So this one we put on a separate website so only you and your staff can access it. So if we go and visit the dashboard here, this is a tool to really help organize your entire agency. You can keep track of all your trainings, your resources, all of your scripts, your how-tos, all your bookmark links that you normally save in your browser, all those hundreds of links, you can save those in here. Keep track of all of your carriers, which I'll show you in a minute. If you're working with VA companies, they work really well off of bulleted lists and how-tos on all their workflows that they have to do day to day. So you're gonna have to create those things when you work with a VA company. So put those in here, and then any of the VAs can access it within here to get what they need to do the processes. And then if somebody's out sick, or you say you switch a VA company to somebody else, you already have everything built in here and it's all ready to go. So you can have as
This
many users as you
This
want underneath.
internet is amazing. Like the fact that there's so much information already pre-built in it and the structure
Mhm,
of it. We're building internets like crazy right now for our fractional COO clients to be able to help them document all of their procedures and processes and their training videos so that if you lose a key staff member, you're not losing all of that knowledge that they have acquired while working for you. And
mhm,
other pieces, like you'd mentioned, the bookmarking. So every time you have a new staff member, you have to have them go bookmark all of this stuff, or you have to, export the bookmarks and import them. Or if you change computers, depending on, how you're signing in, if you're not signing into a safe browser that's syncing, all of these different things. There's so many people that save stuff to their computer itself. Now your computer crashes, you lose that. The intranet is a website. So you're not going to lose access. Anyone that you add to your team can get in here. It is such a powerful tool, and to build something like this on your own through a do-it-yourself portal, I mean, you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. This intranet gives you a massive jump start. You still are going to go in and put in your own policies and procedures and add stuff to it, but this is a huge jump start. It's going to save you so much time.
mhm. And then in here in the company list, we have about 60 or so, 62 carriers already pre-built in here and categorized. Well, this is a way to really keep track of all of your carriers and all of your brokers, categorize them by different lines of business, their markets, whether they download into your AMS system or not. You can categorize by states, really anything that you want to help basically separate all of your carriers into different sections so you can find the carriers that you need quickly.
Yeah, and you guys look
So
at the
say,
filters on the right side. You can filter this list. So you can keep adding to it, add your companies as you add new companies, and then you can filter these. So think about, just the process, even if like it's an existing staff member or new team member, and they're trying to figure out what carriers is it worth me quoting with. Your intranet that's included with your website can speed that process up and make it easier. And then you can even have your staff also help contribute to this database as they're working.
Mhm. Yeah, because I'm
Just
sure
awesome.
every agency owner, after you've said which carriers to quote with 100 times, you probably get kind of
Yeah.
tired of it. So you
On
can
the
just tell
social
your
media
staff,
groups we're on,
yeah,
like
go to the
agents are always
dashboard.
asking, right? Like, hey, I'm trying to find a place for this. Like, once you get that information, where do you put it? How does your staff
Mhm,
access it? How do you find it? We know that in insurance, you'll have a situation that you'll deal with once and you won't deal with it again for 3 years. So where is that information that you did acquire 3 years ago, to go back and find it again? That's why an
mhm,
intranet is so key, you guys. This is
mhm,
amazing. We
mhm,
did have a question I want to ask really quick, Jarell,
mhm,
around some of the forms and just I think the client side of the website really quick. Do you guys do any Spanish or other languages at this point?
Oh yeah, yeah, we definitely do. It's not on here, but we have a language switcher, and we use Google Translate, so we actually have like all the ones that Google Translate has. So there's like 60 or 70 languages. Spanish is definitely one. We have some websites where we can toggle. There's one that are going between English, Spanish, Korean, even, and then like Portuguese, Haitian, French. There's
So
it
cool.
can they just come up to the top and pick the language that they want, and then the whole page then switches over to that language. And
Wow.
it's pretty cool to see. It just switches in like a second or so. So
Love
yeah,
it.
definitely have
Awesome.
that ready for
I
for
actually didn't even
Spanish
know you
or
had that. So
most other languages. Yeah.
I'm learning this now too. I
Yeah,
feel
I'll
like
have to
every
add
single
that
time I
onto the
talk to you, there's
yeah.
something new. You guys have added something. We've been talking, for like what, a year at least. And every time I talk to you, there's something new.
Yeah,
Love
I
it.
have to add it onto the demo site so we can show it here. I'll have to do that after we get off of the call. But here in the dashboard portal, so once we go in and actually visit the details of that carrier of the broker, have anything that you want listed in there, and you can have give access for your agents or account managers to edit this too. So while they're on the phone with an underwriter, if they find out new information, they could immediately just jump in here and add those notes into that carrier. That way, your whole team is up to date with what's going on. They get the latest information. So keep track of all of your, all the emails, your phone numbers, your sales reps, like ineligible breeds of dogs, different rates, appetites, underwriting guidelines, whatever you can think of, definitely put it in here to help your agency. You can even upload as many files as you want to, and you can create different tabs inside here to group those files together if you like. So really nice way to have everything for every carrier listed in here with anything you can think of. And we have quite a bit already listed in here already. All this that you see here, it already comes pre-packaged. So I know Progressive is another one that a lot of people have throughout the country.
And
And we
on the
have
back
quite a bit
end,
of information in here too.
on the
So
back end, you guys too, you also can hide some of these. So like they have 62,
mhm,
maybe in your agency you only write 10 carriers. You also can go in and like turn these carriers off so they don't
mhm,
show up on your internet. So you can both add to it or shrink it down depending on what you need.
exactly. We've had some agencies have used this to help get their own appointments because we had
Mhm.
their information in here, and so they would just call the the carrier and get appointed. So you can do that too.
There's a
Uh,
question about whether or not this will replace an existing website or overlay or refresh it. So I think, Victor, there's a couple answers. So, for example, the intranet that Jarell is showing right now can
mhm,
be a standalone service from
mhm,
Gravity Search if all you need is an intranet. So that could just be in conjunction with the site you have now. If you were to have them build your website, it would be replacing the website you have now. So you would have a fresh start with this new
mhm.
piece. Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, the website, the main site that would replace whatever current site you have. And then the dashboard can be its own thing, and we put it on a subdomain. So whatever your website is, we do something like, agency dot, yourwebsite.com.
Mhm.
So so this can be its own standalone. So there's also some agent intake forms in the dashboard portal. So a nice way for your agents or any of your staff members to come in here, and while they're on the phone, they have hundreds of questions in here. So it starts out pretty simple, but again, it has all the conditional logic built in here. So as I start picking the lines of business that they need, it starts asking more of that information. So we have, primary insureds information, then we can drop down into the co-applicant information, drop down into property, and then we can verify that information through that property lookup. And then it's all listed here on one page and none of the information is required. So while you're on the phone, you can get as much as the client will let you get in the time that you're talking with them. But it's nice
Mhm.
to have all these questions in here. So as you're talking with them, you can build rapport and then not forget questions after you hang up. That way you don't have to call them or email them back and say, hey, I forgot to ask you something. I need this or that. You have everything listed right here, all of your talking points, and then you can move on to start coding right away and just be a lot more efficient with everybody's time, with your time
Mhm.
and the client's time. So,
Yeah, and I always look at this from a training perspective because every single agency will inevitably have turnover. And when you are trying to help your new people understand what questions to ask, when they have a digital form they can fill out, I mean, that they'll get used to the same flow each and every time. It makes things so much
mhm,
simpler, right? Somebody calls, they ask for a car insurance quote. You're going to click on this form and you're going to click car
mhm,
insurance and you're going to fill it all in. And you're
mhm,
going to ask all these questions. I mean, you
mhm,
can't get much more basic than that. I think anyone could read a form and say, I need your VIN number and then pull that
mhm,
information in. This is really cool too. I'll let you keep going, but think
mhm,
about it not only just from ease of use, saving time, underwriting quality, but also that training piece. Because if you're trying to grow and scale your agency, you can do a lot with technology, but inevitably you have to have people to sell insurance, right? So this can
mhm,
also really make that process so much faster for you.
mhm, mhm. And then speaking of the auto insurance that you just mentioned, there is the VIN lookup too. So once you put the VIN in there, you can hit check VIN and that'll pre-fill the year, make, model. And there's a bunch of extra information we can get from the VIN too. And that's on all the forms that have the vehicle or ask for the VIN number. On the client-facing forms, they could put in the VIN, hit that, and it'll pre-fill the rest of the client or the vehicle data for you. So that way you know you're getting real VIN numbers. But really nice way to have everything in here. And again, all of these forms they can integrate with your different systems that you have to get this information into your AMS, into your CRM, into your different marketing tools, so that your whole team can start working on these leads. Um, then
So
once
much
again in
easier.
through here, we can add more, resources, scripts, have these all categorized. You can also have an onboarding and training section and you can divide this up by different roles in your agency.
Mhm.
So then once you have this dialed in, day one, when you have a new hire, you can set them up with a user account and then you just tell them to log in here and then start going through all the steps that you have for their onboarding. So, day one, do steps 1 through 4, day two, 5 through 8, day three, 9 through 15, whatever you want. So that way you're being more efficient with your time. I know with our agency, as we were hiring more and more people, we kept having to do the same thing over and over and over. And that's why we developed this, is so we wouldn't have to do the same thing over and over. So just make it so
Absolutely.
much more efficient. Put a
This is
little welcome
also,
video in here if you want,
yeah,
to welcome the new employee to the team. Really do anything that you want in here. It's for you. You can customize it however you want. Um, Very user friendly and easy to use and jump around in here.
this is also not only is it a huge time saver, but think about, when you're hiring staff, you need them to be able to work on their own to a certain extent throughout their day, right? They have different objectives to whether it's sales or service, and they have to be able to keep working through their workflow. When you hire a new team member, and if you sit them in front of self-directed training, you are going to get a lot of information really quickly about how well this person works independently. So not only will it help you train them, but it will also help you decide if you want to continue to train them and actually onboard them fully into your agency. So this is something that we have learned having our entire team remote and having the requirement of virtual training. We know how long it takes to accomplish it. And for those that move really, really slowly or don't make progress, or we're having to manage them through the process a lot, gives you some insight as to whether or not this was really the right hire. So there's keep in mind that these tools can also do a lot more than they may appear on the face of the tool itself. We
Mhm.
had another question in here as well. Um, what happens to the information? So Rodrigo, we had kind of mentioned earlier. So if you have a system, the Jarell went over some of the AMS systems that they have integrations with, or a CRM. If there is the ability to have that connection through the actual program, then it can land in those systems, in your CRM, in your AMS, or other systems that you might need. If you don't have something like that, or there is a limitation around integration, then it would default to an email notification, but the information itself that's submitted actually does live in the back end of your website. So you could still pull all of your form submissions from the site itself. Anything that you want to add to that part, Jarell?
Yeah, because of different website privacy laws that are happening now,
Mhm.
we'll save the entries for a year in the website. So they have up to a year to jump into the back end of the website and find any of those entries that might have submitted. And then all the files that could have been uploaded by the person, those will be there too. You can access those. And the email that you get, any uploads that they include in the form, it'll be included as file attachments. So you'll have those right there in your email, but they'll also be backed up and saved in the website for a year or two.
Perfect. And then the other question is when it's pulling information like home information or VIN information, is that an additional fee for that data pull? And then I think also where in the system does it pull it? So I think it's you'll be able to see in the form sections, but that's the other question we have.
Yeah, it's saved in the form entry. There's no extra costs for the vehicle lookup. The property lookup, that's on our third pricing tier. It's called the agency pass. It's included with that one. And we don't have a limit set on that. It's just included in that agency pass tier.
Gotcha. And then another question just popped in. How long does it take to fully implement this? So I think we'll hold this question a little bit. Jarell, is there any other features or benefits you would like to show of Gravity Search before we start talking about like the cost and the structure and onboarding?
Um, let's see. I think that's the main things. It's the website, the forms with built-in integrations, the quote proposals, and then the client service center, and then your internal agency portal. Those are the main things that to really help you set your agency apart and turn your website into a tool and just make your entire team more efficient by having data, collecting data through the website and then pushing that into your systems so that you're not having to rekey things in over and over multiple times. And you get what you need quickly and more efficiently so that you can start running quotes and start presenting quotes to clients and really start scaling too. If you start doing a lot more, Google ads, social media ads, and you're running, a lot of marketing,
Mhm.
the website can keep up with it, no problem. And it can, you can get as many leads as you can get. So
Yeah, we did a webinar a couple weeks ago, or I don't remember which one it was. Go to our YouTube page if you want to watch it, but we did one specifically on social media ads and the importance of having a really robust landing page that loads quickly, that is branded, that doesn't look, on social media, people's, scam eyeballs are a little bit higher alert. So you want it to make sure it looks really clean. You can capture information quickly and then have that information go straight to your CRM so you can continue to work the lead. And this is true, if somebody clicks on your Google and they click the website, what do you want them to see? What do you want the first impression to be? I feel like people really underestimate the power of a website and the digital footprint. In today's world, the insurance industry seems to always be a little bit behind the ball in tech. That has really changed over the last 5 years. The insurance tech space has really jumped. And if you have, an agent down the road, I would challenge anyone watching this to do this. Start looking up the insurance agents in your town and look at their websites. And then all the bad ones, just send Jarell an email with the link so he can call them. But not really. But look at the websites and then think about the difference that the people shopping in your community are going to see between something like this and those websites that you're going to see when you do your own research. It is very interesting. Um, there was another question in here, but Victor, the answer to your question around pulling like VINs, that's more of a rating feature that you're looking at. So what Jarell showed you as far as the VIN lookup, that is the information that can be pulled there. So let's talk about pricing. I know when I first met with Jarell, I was like, this is going to be like thousands of dollars. It has so many tools in it. I mean, if you think about some of the things that you can consolidate down in your own business, from, if you're using like another form system like JotForm or something like that, and your website itself. And then if you're trying to use outside systems to pull in, property data or, like I said, verify VIN numbers. If you have an outside intranet, maybe you're paying for it. And all of this is in one. So I'll let you take it from here, but it was
Mhm.
shocking to me.
So I have it right here. It's just on gravitysearch.com and right up here on our pricing page. So we have just the three simple tiers, keep it really easy. Our fast pass is designed for, personal lines agencies. The Teams Pass is designed for personal and commercial lines agencies. And then the agency pass, we really give you everything with that second internal website. Our extra integrations that we have built in that they're custom built. Referral partner landing pages included in that too. So really 259, that's the just the monthly hosting fee with support, backups. We do trainings anytime you need to. Really everything that you need built into with the agency pass here. There is a more pricing options. If you click on that, we have an annual price if you want to do that instead, and that'll give you 2 months off. So you get 12 months, but you only pay for 10. So it'll save you a little bit if you just want to pay once a year. And then we can also do a custom website build. So that's under the more pricing options, and we have a design setup fee with that. But that's really something where we're going to spend about 4 to 6 weeks building out a custom website design. That's for all you agencies that want the high design, want something really custom just for you. We're going to spend a lot more time with you to really build something custom, specifically for you. Whereas we have different templates available through here, which we do still customize. They're not just a clone and then we swap out a logo. We change still a lot of the content and design, images, colors, change it to match your logo. So we really, even with the template site, we call it a semi-custom because there's a decent amount of customization with it too.
Yeah, they
So,
they don't look the same. I have so many clients of ours that have gone to Gravity Search over the last year, and then a lot in the last like couple months. And I'll tell you that even if they go with the templated, they do not look the same when you open them up. You wouldn't think that it's even the same company that built them. They
mhm,
look very unique. And then those really like niche ones that are very boutique style and or just niche in the industry themselves that they're working in. Those custom ones are really neat. Jarell built our website at Accelerated Automation, and then I've been in there, tinkering in the back end because that's just something that I do with all technology I work on. But I'm not even an insurance agency, so when he says he does custom, he can even go
mhm,
outside the industry. So it really they can do anything you're looking for.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. Do we have any other questions, you guys? We have a few minutes left of our webinar time. Any questions that you want to ask, please go ahead and do that now in the chat. Jarell, right now, if an agent did want to sign up and they were going to go with like agency pass, they were going to pick a template, what's kind of a reasonable time frame? Like if they bought today, they should have a site up.
Mhm.
Of course, if as long as they give you everything you need, because I know sometimes you're waiting on
Mhm.
the agent, right? Send me the
Mhm.
logos, do these things. But
Mhm.
if they do everything you ask at the right time, about how long does that take?
Mhm. Usually the turnaround time is pretty quick in our industry, way quicker than I've seen anybody else. It's really under a week is our typical turnaround time. Our
See, that's
record
so
is like
crazy to me.
12 hours. That's not common, but we've gotten a site live in about 12 hours. So
It's where you're
that
burning
was
the
kind of
midnight
like a
oil.
rush emergency situation where everything with their old site went down and needed
Oh
something
my
right away.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing, can you touch on this too? So, websites now, especially with all these VoIP providers and the texting regulations, you have to
Mhm.
have all these things in there. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but the website will come with like terms and
Mhm.
conditions, privacy policy, and the opt-in forms have that verbiage, right, to help agents kind of get
Mhm.
through that process.
Yeah, we have all of that set up. That was one of the first things we did when we built the website, is we spent months developing the privacy policies, the terms of conditions, and then lately with all the TCR compliance around texting, and we have all of that already built into the website in all of the forms for you, so you don't even have to think about it. And we've got some of the most recent TCR compliance verbiage from the phone companies just within the last couple weeks. So the really, cutting edge terms and conditions, those are built into the website too, so you don't have to think about it. Of course, every phone company, they might want some of their own specific verbiage that their lawyers provided. In that case, we'd have to add it to the website, and we could replace what we have with what your phone company specifically requires, but it is all in there ready to go, so you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, so helpful. We do have another question here. So, he said that there's a lot of social media links on the website, which is great. How does the website push or pull information from the social media pages?
Well, one thing, we do have an option where we can grab your Instagram feed, just using your username and login, and we can actually embed it onto like your home page or a team page or something. And that'll actually pull your feed and check once a day, and then grab any new posts and put it on your website. That's just kind of a fun little thing to help just freshen up your website every day if you're posting regularly. because we have the website basically triggering Google to come and look at your website every time the page changes. So if you're adding posts on the website or on your Instagram and then it goes onto your website, that'll trigger a change to Google, and then they'll come back to index your site again. So it's a nice little round circular option there to get Google looking at you consistently. We also have all the SEO built into the website. So if you're sharing website pages, it'll have the nice image on there and a good, title and description. So if you're going to share your links on social media, it's all built in, ready to go. So, and you can definitely customize those images too if you want. You can go into a page, add some image that you want, but we have that already built in for you.
You also can embed, like if you are running ads, for example, through Facebook, you can embed like the pixel into the landing page so you can track and retargeting. The websites also have the ability to embed YouTube videos. So if YouTube is the second largest search engine, only second to Google. So if you want to be in all these different platforms, making it extremely easy for your prospective clients to find you, you can also embed those YouTube, which directs more traffic back to the website, which again helps with your SEO. So a lot of really great integrations around social media. Well, we don't have any other questions in here. Jarell, thank you so much for going over this. I mean, I've just absolutely loved watching the product grow, constantly telling any agent who is remotely unhappy or not getting any value out of their website to go to you guys. And I hope anybody watching this really does consider scheduling a call and asking questions. I think you guys are way underpriced, so get in before Jarell like actually realizes that and changes it, and just sign up now. You really won't regret it. I have not had a single client who's went this route who has regretted it. They have amazing customer service. The product is continuing to be innovated. It's really the place to be if you're an insurance agent and you need a website. Thank you
Well,
so much,
you.
Jarell.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks everybody for taking the time to check us out.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Bye. Thanks for being here.